What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Hookshot, and today we will be breaking down the main event and the co-main event of the UFC fight card that's going down this Saturday, February 3rd, I believe it is.
Yes.
It's Nasruddin Imavov versus Roman Dolidze, and Renato Moicano versus Drew Dober. Moicano hasn't fought since 2022, and we were at that fight. It's been a minute. Rohan is my partner in crime. How you doing today, Rohan?
I am doing so well, my friend. These are some good fights at the top of the card. Obviously, the full card is not the best. It's a regular fight night. But I am very excited to see these, the main event and the co-main event. Obviously, you mentioned the last time Renato was in that cage, he gave that inspirational speech. We all remember it. Money, Moicano. Moicano wants money.
And we were there.
Yeah, we were there. That was incredible. Now he faces the Crimson Chin. Was cracked last time out, so I don't know, man. I'm very intrigued by both of these matchups. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun one. If you want a breakdown of the rest of the card, full betting breakdown, full card prediction, just click the link in our bio. Get our bets, breakdown, video breakdown, write-ups for 50% off. It's a great deal for everything you get. Go sign up and go make yourself some money. Let's get right into it. We'll start. What do you want to start with, the co-main event or the main event? I'll let you choose.
Let's start with the co-main and work our way up.
All right, we'll start with the co-main. Renato Moicano taking on Drew Dober. This one is going to be an absolute banger. We have not seen Renato Moicano since that fight we attended, UFC 281 at MSG. It's been a while, and I'm curious to see where he is. He's looked really good. He looked incredible in that Brad Riddell fight. However, this guy's getting up there. He's been in the UFC since, 2014. He's going to be 35, next month. This guy is getting old. And I'm curious his durability has never been that good. This is a fight in which it's going two ways in my eyes. It's a Moicano sub or a Dober knockout. I really don't see any other way it finishes. I mean, Moicano is so aggressive on the offense, but struggles with that striking defense. And we know Dober has bombs in his hands, but at the same time struggles when the fight hits the mat. It's a tough fight to call because, it's striker versus grappler. Both have their holes. And I really don't have a clear-cut prediction on this fight. There is a bet that I'm looking at on DraftKings that I really do like for this matchup that'll play in favor of both guys. Sorry about that. But I'll let you give your prediction before I break that down.
Yeah, this is a really tough one to call, as you mentioned, because the age is definitely a factor on the side of Renato Moicano. He's getting up there, soon to be 35. But to your point, he looked great when he fought Brad Riddell. I was so shocked in there because I thought, Brad Riddell had took some time off.
Yep.
He was coming back. It was like, oh, this is a prime spot. Renato Moicano, big name, but he's on the tail end of his career. He came out and shut everybody up. I mean, it was incredible what he did. Drew Dober, though, the power is just unreal that he packs in those hands, and it's definitely scary, when you're gonna take on somebody like that that's going up there in age, and is his durability is gonna be a question in this fight. No questions asked. But I think, man, it's so hard to call.
It's very hard.
It's hard to call, man. I think I gotta go with Renato Moicano. I think I'd gotta go with Renato Moicano because I loved what I saw from him last time out against another guy who doesn't have the same powers Drew Dober, but a similar style. Like Brad Riddell is somebody that wants to stalk you, wait for those big opportunities. He throws those looping punches similar to Drew Dober.
Yep.
Those guys have knockout power, and that's what they use to their advantage when they're striking. They're not guys that are going to stand there and pick you apart. But Renato Moicano did such a good job of keeping the distance in that fight, and that's why he was able to do such a great job. And not only that, but if this fight goes to the ground, it is not even close who has the advantage in this fight. It's Renato Moicano all day, every day. We've seen in Drew Dober's last fights, he fought Bobby Green. Didn't really go to the ground in that one, but Islam is a tough one on the ground. But he's not the best grappler. We all know this. That doesn't need any explanation. Moicano, if he gets to the ground, I think he has a great advantage there. And on the feet, I just love what I saw from him last time out. So it's been some time. I know it's a question, after such a hiatus, but he's going to be my pick.
Well, here's where I'm going to offer a counter argument to you. Moicano, he is offensively with the striking. He's looked really good. Don't get me wrong. It's just, man, defensively, I don't know. With the chin, we don't know where it's at. He's been knocked out a couple times. And, he gets hit a lot. And you don't want to get hit a lot against a guy like Drew Dober. It's again, this is, in my eyes, a 50-50 fight.
It's so tough.
But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you a bet on DraftKings. I don't think it's out yet, but they do these kinds of bets. It's double chance of victory. Drew Dober by knockout or Renato Moicano by submission. I think this fight ends inside the distance, and that's how I think each fighter gets it done. I don't know the odds. It may be minus 200 plus. If not, just stay away from it. If you can get good value there, then take the bet. I'm just saying this because, I see those every week and I'm like, man, I got to take a shot on one of these props one day. But I do think that's how this fight ends. A Dober knockout or a Moicano sub. Am I right or am I wrong?
No, I agree with you. And as I'm thinking about it more, I could definitely see a scenario where Drew Dober looks better earlier on. He's catching him with some stuff, and you're like, it's only a matter of time. He sits him down, goes in for a finish, and Renato catches him in something off of his back because he's just so versatile on the ground as well. I could definitely see a submission on his end, but at the same time, with the age and the chin being questioned, I could see Dober putting his lights out. So it's like you said, it's a 50-50 fight. It's an interesting fight. I'm glad that we're getting it, and yeah, it's a tough one to call, but I'm going Renato Moicano. That'll be my pick.
Again, it's so 50-50, guys. Like, I really don't know who's going to win this fight, but I want to be different and say Dober KO, but I feel like if I just choose somebody, it's going to go the opposite way. Guys, I'll say Dober catches Moicano and knocks him out, but do not take my prediction.
Yeah, this is a tough one.
I really do like that bet. Let's move on to the main event, Nasruddin Imavov versus Roman Dolidze. This is a fight, a matchup in particular that I've had circled for a while now, and I'll tell you why. It's because Nasruddin Imavov really impressed me in that Chris Curtis fight. I know it ended in a no contest with an eye poke, and I know that matchup was probably just so favorable to Imavov. I mean, Curtis just let him piece him up with jabs, but man, his hands are so quick, and he proved that in the round and a half that fight lasted before the incidental eye poke, that, man, this guy's only improving. He is only improving. He was scoring takedowns against Chris Curtis, who has incredible takedown defense. But not only that, I don't recommend him to shoot against Dolidze, but I do recommend him to pepper Dolidze with that jab. And, just play on the back foot, pepper him with shots. I feel like stylistically this is a great match for Imavov if he fights the right way. If this fight hits the mat, he will be in danger every single second. Because Roman Dolidze, man, I mean, just take a look at that Jack Hermanson fight. Jack Hermanson is nowhere near the level of striker that Nasruddin Imavov is. And he was piecing up Dolidze on the feet. Mm-hmm. But as soon as that fight hit the mat, we saw like a calf slicer TKO finish. Insane. This guy is brutal. He like snapped Phil Hawes' knee and then knocked him out. If this fight is on the feet, it's Imavov all day. I do think Imavov is smart. I do think he'll fight to the right game plan. But if he takes this fight to the mat, I don't know. I do not know. But I'm gonna say Imavov fights smart. I think he wins a decision. Maybe just hits him with some nice body shots late and gets him out of there. But no, I'll say Imavov decision. And from a betting standpoint, right now, at plus money, you can get the same game parlay of Nasruddin Imavov and the over 1.5. At like plus 115, plus 120, I think those are great odds. I think if he wins, it's either going to be a late finish or decision. If you want to get a little more risky with it, you can go Imavov and the over 2.5. I think you can get that closer to plus 200. I like those a lot. I think Imavov gets it done, and I think it's probably by decision. Rohan, what do you think?
Yeah, as you mentioned, this is such an interesting fight, such an interesting matchup. But in my opinion, it's a clash of styles, and I don't say that in the striker versus grappler sense, although Roman Dolidze is such a better grappler than Nasruddin Imavov. He'll have a big advantage in that department. But on the feet, right, when Roman Dolidze fought Marvin Vettori, for example, that's one of his recent fights that really sticks out in my memory. That fight didn't go to the ground at all, if I remember correctly. They were on the feet the entire time.
Yep.
And it was as if I was watching the same version of like two fighters fight each other. It was like they were doing the exact same thing, just plodding forward, just throwing these wild, just, reckless shots on the feet. That was all I was watching. And that's his style on the feet. If he's fighting somebody like a Jack Hermanson, obviously on the feet, he's a little better. But Nasruddin Imavov is a different level of guys that can pick you apart from distance and, like you said, pepper you with shots. I don't think that style is good for Roman Dolidze at all. But as you mentioned, if he gets the fight to the ground is where it becomes an issue. And Nasruddin Imavov is, he's a lankier fighter. He is very susceptible to takedowns and that pressure up against the cage, which Roman Dolidze will definitely try to implement in this fight. I think all Nasruddin Imavov, like you said, has to do is fight smart, man. He has what it takes to just, pick his shots on the outside, stay on the back foot, circle, not give Roman Dolidze a still target for him to just charge at, because that's what his style is, right? He'll, play that slow plotting game, but then he'll take a charge at you and either berate you with strikes or try to take you to the ground. If Nasruddin Imavov can avoid enough of those, attacks from Roman and stay on the outside. This is his fight to lose, bro. He is just such a better striker. You can see it. Just watch them. Just watch the tape, man. You'll see it for yourself. He is light on his feet. He's got everything. He's got a jab, beautiful, quick hands. I think he's got everything he needs to win this fight, and that's who I'm going to pick to do it. I think Nasruddin Imavov will get his hand raised. I don't know if I'm going to say finish. Yeah, I think I like decision. You said decision as well, right?
I did say decision.
Yeah.
Here's the thing with Roman Dolidze. I mean, I was just looking at his record. I mean, he is such a wild card. This guy is.
Yeah.
I mean, he's arguably winning fights against Marvin Vettori. He's finishing Jack Hermanson, but then he's going out there and losing to Trevin Giles. I mean, it feels like he's winning when he's not supposed to win and losing when he's not supposed to. But you just throw all of that away in this matchup. You just look at this from a stylistic point of view. I can't stress it enough. Imavov, just think when you're in that cage. Do not go into the brawl with Dolidze. And here's another thing. Why I love Imavov in this matchup if he fights the right way. Dolidze doesn't even have good takedowns. He's only secured like 1 or 2 takedowns in his entire UFC career. This guy does not shoot. It's not even that he has bad takedowns, but he doesn't even shoot in the first place. And I don't see why he would do it now. I think he's just going to see if he can bait his opponent into takedowns, which I could see happening. I mean, Imavov has kind of fallen in love with shooting. I mean, he did it against Curtis. He's done it against Edmund Shabazian. He's trying to show that he's a polished mixed martial artist, but he does not need to do it in this matchup. I can't stress that enough. I think Imavov will just piece him to pieces. Literally. If this fight is just on the feet and he is fighting smart. I can't stress it enough. I love Nasruddin Imavov in this matchup. Please do the right thing, my friend Nasruddin. You're a great fighter, very talented. I mean, that jab, Rohan, like, I don't know if you saw that fight between him and Chris Curtis.
Yeah.
But the jabs from this guy, the 1-2s, they were so fucking fast. And then you remember, he's a middleweight. I mean, he is so talented on the feet. He's a well-rounded martial artist as well. And I see big things, but don't show off that you're well-rounded in this fight. Just piece him up with the hands. That's all I ask. And that's all I got to say with this matchup. You got anything else to say?
No, I mean, like you said it perfectly, man. He's 6'3". He's got the height advantage, the reach advantage. He's got the speed advantage. He's got all the advantages on the feet. Exactly. All he has to do is fight smart, and he'll win. And that's my pick. That's your pick. He's going to win. That's all we got for you guys today. As I mentioned, all of our links are in the description in this video. Social media, Discord, all of the above. They're all there. If you have any questions for us, just DM us on Instagram. Let us know in the comments you agree with our predictions. Like, comment, subscribe. It would mean a lot and help us grow. It's been Lucas and Rohan signing off.
Peace.
Deuces.